Yo guys, this is second Creepypasta. I'll be doing this good Monday since it's summer vacation. But nonetheless, guys, here's another Creepypasta that I also really like. I think it's pretty good. And it's called He Hunts. So let's jump right in. 4 years ago, my family moved from the city. We couldn't take the fast-paced life, and we were a wealthy and well-educated family. So we figured we would move somewhere remote and peaceful. A by forest western part of Maine is where we settled. Now in our family, we had me, the eldest son, then you had my father, my mother, one brother, and one sister. Things were always fine around here. We lived off the land, and life was great, but then everything changed, and it wasn't for the better. Oh God, it was horrifying. I'm alone now. It got them, and I'm sure I'm next. So to whoever reads this story, I hope you never stay here. It'll get you too. These are my final thoughts on my horrific story. It all started when my sister went out for water one day. She didn't return for almost an hour. We lived alone out here, or so we thought. I still hear her scream sometimes, that ear-splitting cry of terror, and a scene of my father and brother flashing looks of extreme terror before breezing through the door. They came back, glistening blood on their pants and shoes, crying uncontrollably. They had found nothing left of her but a few bone splinters, her ripped clothes, and a puddle of blood. Things were never the same after that day. My mother never really spoke again after seeing her daughter's remains. The next person to go was my father. Our food was running low and we were snowed in, so we couldn't go to town. He grabbed his rifle and took to the wilderness around us. He didn't come back when we expected him to. My brother and I decided that we were gonna search for him in the morning, but there was no need to go out then. Around 1 a.m., I was dozing in the kitchen chair when there was a low guttural growl from outside the door, and then a resounding bang, bang, bang on the door, and then a loud thump. A flash of molten black fur creature on two hind legs sprinted past my window. That set me off. I screamed at the top of my lungs until my brother ran to me and asked what was happening. I recounted the story to him and grabbed the rifle. He grabbed the rifle and handed me one, and motioned silently towards the door. He made me open it, and cracked it open very slowly and gasped in fear. It was our father, or what was left. His corpse was mangled to extreme length. Arms were gone, eyes were gouged out, the claw marks that dripped a crimson red. My brother collapsed in horror and shut the door weakly. No one left the house anymore. My mother still never spoke. She just would weakly nod or shake her head to communicate, if even that. My brother would break down at anything that reminded him of our lost family. But what I realize is that whatever that thing is, it's not stopping until it had killed all of us. I feel it. A few weeks had passed. We lived in fear. Some nights we would hear those horrid growls, and we would make sure no one fell asleep that night. Instead, we would stay up with guns in hand until daybreak. One morning, after a long night of paranoia, my brother proclaimed that he was taking supplies and heading away to town. Freedom or death, he said. One of them happens today. He offered to take us with him. I pleaded him not to go, but he insisted. I told him I would not go. My mother just shook her head mutely. He said he would send for help, and when he got to town, to keep everything locked. Don't you dare leave. Don't even stick your nose out the damn door, he said. I knew I was only 10 months older than him, but I felt awful about being the one. I felt awful about he being the one who was going out. I knew it was gonna get him. I knew. That night he walked out just before dark, fully struck, having made sure we were okay and had supplies, and began the nightmarish walk to the car. He got to the car and opened the half-frozen door after a few violent tugs on the handle. It was then that I heard the sound that unnerved me on the spot. He turned the key, and as the car started, the blood-curdling scream lit the night air. The beast left the trees from the side opposite of my brother. The creature must have been 8 feet tall, with mangled black wolf's face and a body, but walked on its own 2 legs, or rather sprinted. My brother opened his eyes in fear and smashed his foot onto the gas pedal. The thing pounced onto the car and violently smashed his window. My brother steered wildly, trying to get away from the creature, but he crashed his car and smashed into a tree. And if that didn't kill him, the beast reached into the car and pulled his still squirming body out of the car. The creature looked me right in the eye through the window from a distance, before slicing my brother's stomach with a razor-sharp claw. Blood dripped from his body, and he went limp. The creature walked slowly towards the door, knowing he wanted me to fear him. He knew I was frozen. It reached the door, and I hugged my rifle tight. There was a thud, and another 3 bangs, although they went slow this time. Bang, bang, bang. That it screamed, its chilling scream, like that of a banshee's, and stomped off to the woods. I couldn't open the door to retrieve my own brother's remains. I haven't slept since then. I just watched the door and listened for him, waiting for him to come back. It's just me and my mother now. She doesn't eat or sleep or drink. She hasn't moved from her chair in 3 days. Until her death. I don't think she ever moved again, actually. It was a long night. 4 days without sleep. I heard the growls every night since my brother's grisly demise. But tonight, they were louder. It was tonight. He would attack. I knew it. I loaded my rifle and waited for it, thinking he would come through the door or the window in the kitchen. I was wrong. My mother sat in the other room. But even with my phobia of it, I let her be. It was late when I began to hear scraping along the house sides. 4 times he circled. We were trapped. And he knew it. It stopped, and my heartbeat quickened. As if in slow motion, I realized where he stopped. Just a moment too late. Right next to the side of the house where my mother was. I knew my fears were true when I heard the disheartening sound of a window shattering in the other room. I was rooted. I heard the beast call and dropped to my knees. I saw him walk to my mother and in one stroke took her throat. Within a heartbeat, her chest. He screamed and dove from her room. This was just a few short hours ago. The scraping is starting again. To whomever find this, leave quick. Don't look back. Oh God. The scraping stopped. I don't have long. These have been my final thoughts, and the last one I've ever have. Please heed these war. Now that was He Hunts. Creepypasta. If I had sound effects, then I would probably add a wolf shit and a man screaming, but I don't have sound effects, so fuck it. But nonetheless, that was He Hunts. There's Creepypasta. You can find it in the Creepypasta wiki if you look. So hope you guys enjoy this Creepypasta. Sorry I kind of sounded weird while I'm, talking. But hope you guys enjoy this Creepypasta. Next Creepypasta might be on Wednesday, maybe Friday. Yeah, whenever I kind of feel like it, because it's summer vacation. Fuck a schedule, so yeah. So I hope to see you guys next time when I see you, and enjoy the rest of your day, evening. Yeah. Bye, guys.